What's up, everybody? Welcome to Stranger Things Has Happened. I'm here with the lovely Lunar Girl. We're going to talk about Season 2, Chapter 5, Dig Dug.
Dig Dug!
But first, we got some gifts.
We have gifts. We had Josh and Shanti over last week for our first Hawkins hangout. And if you remember and you saw the episode, they had visited a Stranger Things pop-up shop. We got gifts in the mail this week from that pop-up shop. So I got a little note. It says, since you and Don can't visit the pop-up store in Miami, we decided to bring the store to you both. We love the stream, Stranger Things, and you guys. Enjoy. Love, Shanti and Josh.
Which is super sweet.
Oh, I love you guys.
I got cavities.
You got cavities?
From the sweetness.
I got those, loving feels.
Nice.
So I opened the box.
What's in the box?
It is this beautiful cloth Stranger Things bag. And inside the bag.
What's it? Is there anything on the other side?
Other side. Mike and Lucas and Dustin and 11 and Will.
And
Will is upside down. I'm so glad you pointed that out.
I didn't see the other side of my bag.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if we got different bags.
Oh, that is cool.
We got the same bag.
Well, one of the things in my box is it looks like Lucas and Dustin Pez.
Yes.
Yes. Isn't that so neat? And there's another. And it's Mike and 11 Pez.
Yep.
Oh.
I think those are the same ones I got.
I love them. I can't eat these. These have to go with all of my super cool toys.
Yeah, those are the ones I got.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, Shanti and Josh.
Yes, very nice. We really appreciate it.
And you guys can watch Shanti and Josh this coming Saturday.
Naked.
November naked?
On YouTube. Yeah, they're actually gonna, see how far they can push it.
It is a viewer appreciation.
Yeah.
That they're doing. So
they appreciate viewers.
Salacious Rum will be there too, who was also a guest on our show last week. So catch them over at Scarif After Dark at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. So, how are you this week, Mr. Snooch?
I am pretty doggone good.
That is so excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I still have a million things to do around here, but I'm getting to the point where things are steadily enough that I'm just kind of relaxing for a few days.
That's excellent. You never take a day off.
Yeah. It only took like 2.5 months. I'm still not taking a day off. I haven't had a day off of work in a month at least.
Forever.
But it's, once you get in the groove of it, you just get up every damn day.
You got it. I totally understand that. I can't complain. This weekend, I will be making my grocery list for Thanksgiving sides, since this is the first year in at least 20 years that I am not hosting Thanksgiving for anyone. I'm totally lost. I'm going up to my mother's house. It's just going to be a quiet Thanksgiving with my mother, my stepdad.
I don't believe that, even for a second.
Well, what do you mean? Because I talk loud?
Yeah, I just
you got something against Italians, Don?
I just don't believe that you or any of your kin could be having a quiet evening.
Well, what's quiet to me and quiet to you are probably two separate things.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Italian. This is how we talk.
Yay! Oh, yay! Yay! Piece of shit.
Well, are you ready to get into season 2, chapter 5, Dig Dug?
I think that we should.
Sweet. So we start off with Joyce. Joyce is trying to call Hopper. There are drawings all over the freaking house at this point, down the hallways, in all the bedrooms. We go into Will's room, and he's actually hanging out with Mike. He's like, Will is covered in sweat, and he's crying. He's trying to talk to Mike. He's telling Mike about how he sees what the Shadow Beast sees. He feels what the Shadow Beast feels, which has got to be terrifying.
Right.
He said the closer the thing gets to Hawkins, the more he feels it. It used to be something in the back of his head. Now it's all he can do. Like, he hears it, he feels it. It's completely obsessing his entire life at this point.
Right.
He's trying to explain it in now-memories, which is like memories, only it's happening in now time. So This is a word that comes up a few times during this episode, now-memories. Mike, being the awesome best friend that he is trying to say, well, maybe you're like a super spy and you could figure out, everything that he's about to do, and you can save some shit. And Will is like, yeah, but what if he figures out that we're spying on him? What if he spies back? And Mike is like, we won't let him. And
the naivety. Yeah, of
naivete.
Young people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's no way that's a two-way mirror.
I still loved it though. Like, these two have such a bond together. It is a beautiful thing to see. And that's kind of like how we were with our friends back then,
Sure.
Yeah. So we flash over to Hopper. He's in a tunnel. There's things screeching and hissing. And then he sees this animated blob on the ceiling, and it spits poison at him. And then Hopper starts choking and he passes out. And the entrance that he came in when he dug through the farm field, it's sealed up.
Right.
And then hit the intro music. I was like, oh no! Even though it was a 2-minute cliffhanger, it was still oh my gosh, you can't start the music right now.
Right.
Man.
Bastards do that all the time.
Right? So, when we come back from the music, we see Jonathan and Nancy. They're at one of those pay by the hour motels.
Yeah, fuck yeah, they are.
Let's get it out.
Somebody's gonna get snooched.
I thought so too. So there's the receptionist sitting there, and Nancy's looking at her like, hello. Chick's reading her magazine. Nancy dings the bell. Nancy's like, hello. Finally the chick is like, do you want a single room or a double room? And Nancy's like, double. We need the 2 beds.
Or we're gonna bang.
Yeah. But the next time we see them, they're both in their beds, and Jonathan is in regular guy clothes, and Nancy's in her perfect little pink satin 2-piece button up,
Isn't that fucked up?
Yeah, dude, really? He's such a prep.
Right.
So pinkety pink. But Nancy's like, how come we only hang out when the world's about to end? And of course, Jonathan's like, don't say that. The world's not going to end. And Nancy's like, that's how it feels. Oh, let's put our hands, because there's a nightstand in between the 2 beds there. let's put our hands on the nightstand, look at our scars, because when they slashed their hand, to get the blood to attract the Demogorgon last season. So they're looking at their scars together, and then they're like, oh, we can't do this. Our hands are touching,
Come get this yuck.
Nancy's like, what happened to us? Which gives us the first clue that there was just a little tiny itty bitty thing between the two of them. And then Jonathan's like, well, Will needed me and you had Steve. And Nancy's like, I waited for you.
For like 45 minutes.
Yeah, for like 45 minutes. But Jonathan's like, yeah, for like a month. And Nancy's like, she gets all pissy and she rolls over and she's like, I want the lights out now. Whatever, Nancy, whatever. Such a tease, Don. Such a tease.
Yeah, well, she's a girl.
Yeah, I guess so. So next we see Will. He wakes up, immediately in a cold sweat, from a nightmare.
Right. Like you do.
Yes. Joyce is sitting on the floor in the middle of the living room with the pictures all around her, going through every single room of these black viney things. She's got the phone because I think she's still waiting for Hopper to call her back. Will comes into the room with Mike, who slept over. And he's like, I saw Hopper. I think he's in trouble. I think he's going to die. And it's like, holy shit.
Right. That whole thing was pretty legit, too. He's like, yeah, I seen the things. Time to do something.
Yes. And everybody believes him now, because, like, no more of this, oh, it's just PTSD bullshit, like everybody believes him. We immediately flash over to Hopper, who wakes up. He pukes. He starts doing things like, emergency survival stuff. He's putting a cloth over his face so he's not breathing in this poison anymore. He sees that his only way in has been sealed. He starts walking the tunnels. He notices that the viney things are alive. He comes to a why, as we always do. And he's smart enough to leave breadcrumbs, probably because he survived Vietnam,
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could think of.
And it proves that he's not paying modern cigarette prices.
Yes, because his little trail of breadcrumbs that he leaves are pieces of his cigarette butts.
Right.
So smart man, though. Smart man.
Every time he dropped one of those, I was like, well, there's $1. Yeah,
right. Hey, but back in the 80s, it was only like, 35 cents a pack or something like that?
Yeah, it was, I mean, they were practically free.
Exactly. I mean, I know in 1993, they were like 79 cents a pack.
When I started, they were $1.25.
When you started in 97?
Yeah, about.
Yeah.
Well, 95.
When did cigarette prices go up? Yeah, it was probably 95. Yeah.
I was 13, so.
Cheapers.
Oh, no, it would have been before. It would have been like 92. Because I graduated in 98.
Yeah, I graduated in 95.
I was in the 6th grade when I started smoking.
Cheapers cats. I was only in the 9th grade.
I was a bad kid.
Well, we were poor kids.
Yep.
We were the statistic.
Yep. Poor latchkey kids.
Yes, we were. I did it to get back at my mother. Why did you start?
One of the kids I hung out with thought it was cool, and we'd steal his mom's cigarettes, and it was over after that.
I started for the stupidest reason. I was pissed off at my mother for smoking, so I stole her cigarettes and started smoking them.
Yeah, that works every time.
Oh, it worked. 45 years old. I'm still a smoker, guys. Don't smoke cigarettes.
Or weed.
Why?
Carry on.
That's another episode. So we flash over to Lucas. Lucas is sitting down with Mom, Dad, and Erica for breakfast. Lucas is like, you could tell he's thinking, something's bugging him. Then he's like, hey, Dad, who is, reading the newspaper. He's like, when you're mad at Mom, or when Mom's mad at you, how do you make her not mad? That was like so adorable. And he's like, well, I apologize and I get her what she wants. And Mom's like, damn right. Not quite like that, but that's pretty much in my head.
That's pretty much the gist of it. I mean,
yeah.
Most of the time, if you would have just did what she wanted in the first place, you could have saved yourself at least 90% of your trouble.
And Lucas is like, well, what about when she's wrong? And Dad like stops everything, puts down the paper and like, oh, she's never wrong, son. And again, Mom's like, damn right.
It's the same rules, even if she is wrong.
Yeah. Oh, it was so funny. But now all of a sudden, Lucas is like, I gotta go. And Mom's like, aren't you going to eat your breakfast? And he's like, no, I'm not hungry. I gotta go. Which was a damn shame because that French toast looked freaking amazing.
Yeah, I want French toast now.
No girl is worth not eating your French toast for. And I'm a girl. So, yeah. So, seriously. Like,
I mean, find a girl that wants the French toast too, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. But then make extra French toast. Don't let them eat your own French toast, or else then you have no French toast, and then everybody loses.
Right? Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. Whatever. So they're like, "Where are you going?" I'm gonna go hang out with Dustin. But then we see him hop on his bike and drive right past Dustin's house where Dustin's mom is like, meow, 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 kitty.
Oh, I totally like love the cat, or the fact they named the cat Mew.
I thought it was kind of cute, but also like it made me wonder, like, was somebody influenced over Pokemon? But Pokemon didn't exist in 1984, so.
No, I think it's just
mew,
like,
mew,
what's a cat noise? Mew.
Mew. So, like, I kind of felt bad for her, but at the same time, she's just such an oafy character,
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, now we're at Dustin's house, Mom walks in because she couldn't find Mew Mew Kitty out in the front yard. And Dustin is on the phone on a fake phone call, pretending to ask all the neighbors if they've seen Mew Mew Kitty. And he makes up some story that Mew Mew Kitty was spotted over by a lake on the other side of the city. Mom, go join the search party. Oh, I will, honey, I'm going. And, he's given his mom, like, the talk and the confidence to go find Mew Mew Kitty and bring him home. And, like, again, I felt a little bit bad, but not that much. So they should have broken out into like a song sequence here, 80s style, because now Dustin goes and he gets on all of his
didn't have much music in it at all.
It didn't.
Ambiance
that made me sad. And I hope we're not spiraling to like no music anymore. Like, I hope it was just a coincidence, but seriously, they should have had like a music sequence here. Cause like he's putting on all of his hockey gear, he goalie mask and all of his thingamajiggers.
It could have been a good time for a montage. Gotta have a montage.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes. Gotta have a montage.
Moving on.
Motherfucking montage. Gets his hockey stick And he starts laying a trail of baloney. Which I giggled over.
It's like an unhappy trail.
And he's like, okay, Dart, I know you're hungry. It's dinner time. Come on.
So fucked up.
Justin's hiding in the shed now, peeking out through a crack, and he sees Dart eating up the bologna, following the bologna trail outside the house, right into a storm cellar. Justin's like whacking him with his hockey stick, and poor little Dart's falling down those stairs. And Dustin closes the storm cellar doors, and he's like, "I'm sorry, buddy, but you ate my cat." Right? I just like lost it. I'm like, that is the funniest thing ever.
I had feelings about that cat, buddy.
You ate my cat. Oh, so then we flash over to Elle, who is getting out of a truck. Like, I guess she was hitchhiking or something, because the hitchhiker's like, you know, like, make sure you apologize to your mama. How long has it been? You know, don't you be running away no more.
Right.
So Elle gets out of the truck, and she's at Terry's house. Like, Terry, the one who sits in the rocking chair, and Mama, she's at Mama's house. She got there. She goes to the door, and of course, what's her name? Aunt Becky?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Aunt Becky. Won't let her in. She's like, I don't want your Thin Mints, and I don't need to know about the story of God, and blah, blah, blah. Go sell your shit somewhere else. And Elle's like, I want to see Mama, you know, because she opens up the door using her telekinesis.
With her brain powers.
Yeah. And Aunt Becky's like, oh, shit. Mama was right.
Right.
And she walks down the hall, finds her mama, and Mama's still saying 3 to the right, 4 to the left, 450, sunflower, rainbow.
Oh, geez, you wrote it all down, huh?
I did. Because, like, this has got to mean something. We said this a couple episodes ago. It has to mean something. Elle puts her hand on top of Mama's hand. She looks right at Elle. And Elle's like, what's wrong, Mama? So, and that was the end of that scene. We're back with Jonathan and Nancy. They show up at some weird place somewhere. Looks like it's the projects. There's like fencing with like razor wire on it, and some garage, and it's just like a cement 2-story. Just weird looking. And it happened to be the paranoid investigator.
Yeah.
That really weird paranoid investigator that we saw all the way in season 2, chapter 1.
Right. And he's even weirder than I originally anticipated when he came into his compound. At first I thought it was the science teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remembered that they went way out of town. And then I was like, well.
Yeah, he had that wall with like pictures of Barb and like strings, and it spanned like 2 rooms.
Right.
Like, such a weird guy. And Nancy walks in and looks at the wall. He's like, well, there's 2 things wrong. And the guy's like, what? She's like, first, the timeline is wrong, and 11 is not Russian.
Right.
Let's have a talk. And now we're with Billy in the car. Billy is such an asshole.
Right.
He's such an asshole.
I'm going to be kind of bummed out if they try and redeem his character.
Oh, yeah, because he's an asshole.
Just a shit ass, and I just like they already like kind of salvaged Steve's reputation, but that was always sketchy. Like you were always like, well, maybe, but like this dude is just a bona fide asshole.
I hope he gets eaten by Dart or something like that. Like, that's how much I don't like him. Like,
right.
Dude, just go feed him to Dart. So he drops Max off at the arcade, and she walks up to Dig Dug, and she sees a sign that it's out of order, and Cheeto Boy is there, just like shoving Cheetos in his mouth.
Right. And you can't
saying that,
because Cheetos are yummy.
Yeah. And, I got shit in the back room for you, a spare game, and goes into the back room, and nope, it's Lucas. And Cheeto Boy's like, "Dude, get me that date." And Lucas is like, yeah, whatever, get out. So
is it like Lucas's sister or something that he wants to go out with?
Oh, it's Mike's sister. He wants a date with Nancy. Yeah, he wants a date with Nancy.
That's right.
So Lucas is like, okay, I'm going to tell you the truth, but you got to sit down and you can't tell anybody. You have to swear not to tell anybody because you can die. They will kill you. And Max is like, yeah, well, whatever.
Right.
We skip over to Will. Will is drawing again. Hopper and the Vines. Something about Hopper and the Vines. Bob shows up. So Joyce goes outside. Fucking Bob. Bob's like, oh, since you said Will's not feeling good, I brought over all these brain teasers. They really helped me. I was a sick kid too. Just like, I love Bob, but at the same time, like, Bob, you need to go find yourself a boring girl,
right?
It's not working out for you, buddy. So, like, Joyce makes all these excuses on why Bob can come into the house and not just, don't bring the brain teasers just yet. I know he's going to like them, but he doesn't have time to play with them. He's not feeling good. He's taking a nap,
right.
Washing his hair, whatever, And Bob's like, okay, well, they didn't call me Bob the Brain for nothing.
That was my favorite. Like, you don't want to say that, Bob.
Bob the Brain.
You just don't want to be that guy, Bob. Don't be that
You don't. That was one of the things that kids made fun of me for in like 5th and 6th grade. They used to call me Kelly the Brain.
I was going to say, I hope they didn't call you Bob the Brain.
No, they called me Kelly the Brain. And they also called me Kelly the Brain Heenan, like Bobby the Brain Heenan.
I don't know. I don't get that reference. Is that a wrestling thing?
That's a wrestling thing.
Yeah.
Bobby the Brain Heenan was a wrestler.
There was a girl I went to school with that her name was Henderson, and I used to call her Harry.
Oh, you did not.
Yeah, and I mean, as an adult, I look back on it and I feel like an asshole about it. But I'm sure that it's one of those things that don't never cross her fucking mind.
Mm-hmm.
But what a dick.
Oh, I'm sure it still does, Don, because again, I'm 45 years old, and here I am telling the story about how the kids at school used to laugh at me and call me Kelly the Brain Heenan. She's telling that story somewhere that this asshole Don used to call her Harry, what'd you say? Harry and the Hendersons?
I used to just call her Harry.
Yeah.
Seemed funny at the time.
You need to go find her and
don't.
Give her an apology so that she doesn't put you on her hit list someday.
Oh, yeah. Maybe she should. That might be best for both of us.
So Bob the Brain triggered something in Joyce's mind. Like, oh, Bob, come on in. I got a game for you, actually. I just remembered.
It's hide the snooch.
It wasn't hide the snooch. I'm sure Bob wanted to play hide the snooch, but Joyce had a headache.
You think at this point that they've played hide the snooch?
I don't know. I want to say yes. I'm sure they probably made out a few times. Well, yeah, they did make out. We saw them
they definitely
in
made out.
Room. Yeah.
But did they hide the snooch?
Maybe, because didn't Bob sleep over on Halloween?
Maybe. It
And they
seems
were
like he slept over at
slow
some point.
dancing. Yeah. I'm sure they hit the snooch at least once.
I mean, like you do. I mean, you gotta
Yeah.
hide the snooch.
Yeah. 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 I mean, it's Winona Ryder. Come on.
I would hide the snooch.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the sneech and the snitch and anything else I could shove in there.
Oh, hell yeah. Definitely. Definitely. But Joyce is like, Bob, we're playing a game. You see where the X marks the spot. Now you have to guess where that X is. Bob's like,
he's
what the
hiding
fuck
in the
kind of a
bushes.
game is this? And and Joyce is like, the only rule is you cannot ask any questions. And Bob's like asking questions. And Joyce is like, stop asking questions.
Worst game ever. Don't ask any questions.
Don't ask any questions.
Well, I mean, how am I supposed to figure out what the game is? That's a question.
But you know what? Bob the Brain saw one of the viney things that looked like a lake, and then he followed that to another thing that looked like a river. And Bob knew that this viney thing, these drawings all over the house, is a map of Hawkins.
Fucking
and Bob knew exactly where that X was. And they're like, everybody get in the car. So now we're back over to Hopper. Hopper's trying his radio again. And the radio does like a little flare of like some feedback, but didn't really amount to anything.
Mm-hmm.
He sees bones. He sees something that looks like a possum. And it was like a pile of fur with some bones sticking out of it. And he kicked it. And the thing was like animated. And it kind of kicked him back. And it was like, oh.
Very gross.
That's really gross. He went to light a cigarette, but he noticed that the lighter affected all the vines. So he made a torch.
Like you do.
Like you do, you know, Indiana Jones style.
Indiana
He
Jones
really did look like Indiana Jones this time, didn't he?
Yeah.
He really did. Very attractive from a chick point of view.
Oh, yeah.
Very attractive. Very attractive. We like that stuff.
Indiana Jones?
Oh, are you kidding me? I love Indiana Jones.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. Yep. He can do an archaeological. He can
look
do
for your snooch.
He can look for my snooch all night long. So, but we're not going to see any more of him after he lights that torch because now we're at Dustin. And he's like, I need help. There's code red. My cat's dead. Hopper's MIA, code red. He's like on his little radio and nobody's answering him because, you know, Mike is at Will's house and Hopper's MIA. He's not answering. And Lucas is at the arcade with Max. So,
it's not a very good communication system that they're running.
No, but it always worked before. So he's like shouting code red into his walkie-talkie, and freaking Lucas's little sister is like, code red, shut your mouth, more like it, you know, turns off the radio.
I'm gonna need you to shut the fuck up, dude.
Shut your mouth.
You've said about one too many words.
Exactly. So now we're back at Elle. I thought this whole part was like so cool. I absolutely love this part. Aunt Becky's asking Elle questions. Elle's not answering. You can see Aunt Becky made Elle a sandwich that she's not eating.
Every time you say Aunt Becky, I can't help
Full House.
Full House.
Exactly. Full House. Yeah, but she's Aunt Becky.
Fuck it, Aunt Becky.
Oh.
Or Roseanne. But I was thinking 100%. I was thinking Full House.
I was thinking Full House. Yeah, but that Aunt Becky was hot. And this Aunt Becky, she's pretty. She's not hot. She's pretty, but she's not hot.
Wait a minute. Which Aunt Becky?
The Aunt Becky in Stranger Things.
No, I mean, which Aunt Becky was hot? The one in Full House?
Oh, the one in Full House.
Yeah.
Not the one in Roseanne.
Mercy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aunt Becky and Roseanne, not all that.
Not really. She was funny. She was nice, but I wouldn't call her hot.
Mm.
But she wasn't trying to be hot. She was trying to be a police officer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
wait a minute.
Yeah.
I think we got that mixed up. Becky was one of the sisters, not Roseanne's sister.
Becky was Oh, Becky was
Darlene
the
and Becky
sister.
were the kids.
What the hell was the sister's name then?
Oh, fuck a duck. Fuck all of the ducks.
I've seen like every episode of Roseanne.
I know.
Fuck. I don't remember.
Carry on.
Yeah. So Elle's like, Mama's not going to get better, will she? And Aunt Becky's like, she's stuck in a dream. And Ella's like, the same dream? And Aunt Becky's like, I don't know. Sometimes she says different words, but most of the time it's the same words,
Jackie.
Over and over again. Jackie, that's it. Thank you. That would have bothered me like all night long. Yeah. So, Aunt Becky's like, you're home now. Welcome home. You want to see your old room? And Elle's like, I'm home? And the Aunt's like, yeah. So brings her in the room, and it looks just like a beautiful little girl's room. Like, it was still untouched with all the little girl things there. Little window seat. There's crib. The thing that I really hated is that the little mobile over the crib had fucking clowns on it. Like, dude, what kind of baby is going to want clowns swirling over your head at night?
We're
okay?
not
Like, that will never put me to sleep.
Not everybody's afraid of clowns.
I'm not afraid of clowns. I just don't trust them. I want to punch a clown. I want to punch a clown in his fucking throat until like that clown never tries to do anything. Like, don't talk to me. Don't come near me. Don't come near my children. You never know who's under that makeup,
This is all so scary to me.
Fuck a clown. Fuck a clown. Yeah. So Elle thinks it's pretty, and Aunt Becky's like, well, if you want, you could still live here and welcome home, and we'll get you a bed so that you're not sleeping in a crib. And Elle's like, okay. Then they notice that the lights are flickering outside the room.
Mm-hmm.
Elle goes to check it out. And Becky's trying to say, oh, it's an old house. It's just bad wiring. And Elle notices that the light down the hall starts flickering.
Right.
And then the next light starts flickering. And Elle is following all the lights in the order that they're flickering.
Mm-hmm.
And Becky's like, I'm serious. It's just the wiring, except for so-and-so neighbor thinks that the house is haunted.
Right.
And it goes all the way into the living room where Mama is. And Terry is watching The Price is Right. And all of a sudden the channel changes. And it changes again and it changes again until it's just, static white noise fuzz. Mm-hmm. And Ella's like, she wants to tell us something. It's Mama. She wants to tell us something. So I thought that was really cool.
You got about 15 minutes.
15 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So next up is Bob. Bob has map, okay? It's half a mile southeast of Danford. Are we really doing this? And Joyce is like, get the fuck in the car. Shut up, right? Bob.
Yeah. And that's Rain Bob.
Now we're with Karen. Karen's on the phone.
Fuck
and
Karen.
It's still freaking morning, isn't it? Isn't it still morning?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Karen's on the phone with a big old glass of wine, okay?
Talking to the manager.
Talking to who? Yeah, right. Probably talking to her girlfriends about the manager because she does have that big old glass of wine. Mm-hmm. You don't drink wine when you're on the phone with the manager. And fucking Ted sitting there in his chair doing nothing, and the doorbell's ringing, and the doorbell's ringing, and the doorbell's ringing, and Karen's like, Ted, would you get the fucking door? You know, okay, honey. And he goes and answers the door, and it's Dustin, and Dustin's like, do you realize that your phone has been busy for over 2 hours? And Ted's like, yeah, tell me about it.
Right.
And he's like, where's Mike? Mike's at Will's. And he's like, okay, nobody's answering the phone there either. Where's Nancy? Nancy's at Allie's. Oh, and Ted is not telling these answers to Dustin because Ted doesn't know where his own fucking children are. He has to ask Karen, who's on the phone. Like, you don't pay attention to your kids? You don't know where your kids are? Your kids told you where they were going right in front of you at the breakfast table. Right. I heard it. I was there. So whatever, Ted. So Nancy's at Allie's and Dustin's like, son of a bitch, really? You are no help at all. You know that? And he walks away.
And he's like, language. There's very few things that used to piss me off more when I was little than some dumbass grown up saying shit like that to me.
Language.
When you already knew that, because I mean, I don't know what your life was like growing up, but fucking most of adults in my orbit were pieces of shit. So when you got your behavior corrected by people that even as a child you knew was a piece of shit.
Oh, yeah. But we weren't allowed to say anything to adults because, bad stuff would happen if we talked back to adults. you get the picture. So fucking Dustin starts walking away, and who pulls up with a dozen roses but fucking Steve, who's like trying to talk to himself like, you can say sorry and sorry, Nancy. Oh, what am I sorry for? He's talking to himself. And Dustin like takes the fucking roses. And he's like, we got bigger problems in your love life right now. Get in the car. I left that part too.
He's like, really? Yeah, fucking really, bitch. Let's go.
You still got the bat? And Steve's like, what bat? The bat with the nails. That was awesome. He's like, get in the car now. So we flash over to Hopper, who's trying to dig. He's the vines get him, and he's trying to reach his knife because the knife is just like 2 inches too far away, and the vines just get him and starts choking him, and he's screaming. Lucas. He finishes telling Max everything that's going on in the arcade. Max doesn't believe a word that he just said. She's trying to storm out, and she's like, you are stupid, but funny. Great story. Ha, ha, ha. You expect me to believe that bullshit? She starts getting louder and louder and louder, and we're in the arcade now, and people are starting to look. And Lucas actually goes and puts a hand over her mouth, and he's like,
chill, bitch.
Yeah, our biggest thing is that friends don't lie, and you need to shut up. And Max is like, you're serious.
Did you ever see the skit where Samuel L. Jackson has that spray bottle and it's bitch be cool spray?
Yes.
And then the chick's like, well, what's that for? Or the guy's like, what's that for? And this chick starts running, bitch be cool.
And she's like, yeah, that was a good one. So Max is like, you're serious? And he's like, yes, I'm serious. And she's like, I'm supposed to just trust you? And he's like, yes. And then we start hearing the revving of a car. Billy's outside. She's like, don't follow me out to Lucas. She goes out. Of course, Lucas follows her out anyway. Billy sees him, and he's like, what did I tell you? and she's like, we weren't hanging out. And he's like, you're fucking lying, and you're going to see what's going to happen to liars when we get home. And I'm like,
right.
What the fuck is he going to do to her?
Nothing good.
He's such a fucking asshole. I can't stand him. Like, fuck Billy, man. So, Nancy. Billy. Nancy finishes with the tape. The weird detective guy, he's like, I'm thinking. I need to think. Pours himself a big old glass of vodka. Mm-hmm. He's like, I need music. Turns on the music. Nancy's like, was the tape incriminating enough? Just answer me. It's a simple answer. And he's like, it's not as simple as you think, Nancy. Oh, naive little girl. I believe you. You need to make them believe you. The tape will be very easy for them to bury. Basically, people don't want to hear all this shit because it's going to scare the crap out of them. Okay. Right. So you need to water it down, which she only realizes because his vodka was too strong.
Right.
We Sometimes need to make
pour a drink.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. But if we water down the story a little bit, make it more tolerable, scary, but familiar, the assholes that killed Barb will go down. So now they're going to start plotting.
Right.
We go over to Hawkins' lab, where all the weirdos that collected the samples from all the dead pumpkins, they finally got their results in, and the samples don't do too much, but when you put heat to the beaker with one of the samples in, every single beaker of samples starts turning into a tornado inside the jar. Even though they're not touching each other, they're in totally separate beakers, they all started turning into a tornado.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
I was like, it was kind of freaky. Like, I underlined it, like, tornado in all the samples. It kind of freaked me out.
Right.
It's like, there's no reason why that dirt and that dirt and that dirt should all be connected. It's just
they were all, like, from what they were saying, they were samples from different places.
Yes, from different farms.
Yeah.
So weird. So we're back over to Elle and Terry and Becky, and Elle, she wants to communicate with her mom. So she leaves the TV on that is fuzzy. Aunt Becky's cutting looks like a dish towel in half and making a little blindfold to Elle. This was really, really cool. Elle goes into that world between worlds that we call it because we don't know what else to call it. Terry grabs her hand, okay, and then disappears, all right? And then all of a sudden you see a young Terry in labor. She's bleeding. She gets to the hospital. They give her a C-section. She's trying to breathe. She falls asleep. She wakes up and sees sunflowers. She sees her sister that says Jane didn't make it. She totally spazzes, and a fight ensues with some nurses. And then we flash over to Terry opening a safe. 3 to the right, 4 to the left. Okay. There's a gun in there. She takes that gun to Hawkins' lab, where the guard, everybody's filing in the morning. It looks like they're all going to work. The guard asks Terry to see her badge. Terry shoots the guard. She starts walking down the hall. She sees a rainbow on a door frame. She goes into that door. She sees what looks like 3-year-old Jane. 3-year-old Elle. Couldn't be much older than 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Playing with a bunch of kids, like a little daycare room. They grab Jane, or they grab Terry. They strap her down. Papa with brown hair is staring at her. That creep show.
Was his hair not brown before?
No, his hair was white.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guess it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And then that fucking asshole says, "Oh, put it on 450." The nodes right on her temples, fucking fries the shit out of her brains.
So I'm assuming that we're talking volts.
Yeah.
Like if you blow through 450 volts through the temporal lobe, like
fried her fucking brains.
Right.
And then Elle pulls off the blindfold, and it's like, dude.
Right.
And now Elle knows the truth. And that was basically the only way that the truth could ever get out was, you know, one telekinetic person to another.
Right.
Who's half brain dead.
Yep.
So if that wasn't freaky enough for you, where Joyce and Bob and Will and Mike are speeding down the road, Will is like, turn now, stay here. And like, she's like, because we all know how Joyce drives, okay?
Bad.
Almost like
bad.
This close from Hopper's truck. But guess what? We found Hopper's truck.
Right.
So Joyce is like, stay here. And Joyce is like, Bob, help me get down the hole. Because they find the hole, and Joyce like, yeah, with the shovel, you know, gets in the hole.
Bob seems to be willing to do whatever the fuck Joyce tells him.
Wouldn't you, Winona Ryder?
Fuck yeah, I'm gonna show her my snooch.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Or it could be the PTA mom, you know. We remember last week.
Yeah. That's true.
Never know.
Never know.
Never know. So like there's vines and Joyce is like, Bob, no. And they're in the tunnel and Bob's following her and Joyce is like, we gotta find Hopper. And Bob's like, what the fuck is going on? You know?
Right.
We go, okay, this is the weirdest treasure hunt I've ever been on, but okay.
Right. And at this point, fucking Bob's all in. Like,
yeah, you
can't unshow Bob this shit.
Yeah, exactly. But he's still looking around like, what the fuck? Is this one of Will's dreams?
Yeah, like what? Wait, what? The what now?
He's like, are we in Will's map? Oh, Bob.
Oh, Bob.
You poor little shit, Bob. Joyce is finding the cigarette butts, you know, they finally find Hopper. But right before they find Hopper, Will and Mike and all the cars start pulling in.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh shit, it's the lab goons, you know,
right,
in their hazmat suits. And then we do see Hopper, and Hopper's like, you know, like oil can, only he's like knife. And, you know, they're looking for the knife. Bob finds knife. You know, Joyce is like stabbing the shit out of the vines and
that's not a knife.
Freeing Hopper. And they're like, the suit fires, you know, gets out his blowtorch, starts hitting those vines with fire. Fucking Will drops to the floor. His eyes turn black. He starts convulsing, you know.
Yeah, like full-blown seizure, really.
Full-blown seizure, convulsing on the ground. And now we're on another episode cliffhanger.
Right. Kind of like very much echoed the one where he seen the tornado dude and went like unresponsive.
Yeah. Except he's just flopping around on the...
Now, I was unsure if he was making a noise or if that was the soundtrack.
I think he was making a noise, like almost like screaming, but like monster screaming.
Right.
Like it didn't sound like Will screaming.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure. I was like, is that? in the soundtrack, and I rewound it and watched it again, and it's just you just can't tell.
You can't tell because it was like all synthy like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like, holy crap. Holy crap. Dude.
All right. 4 minutes, Kelly.
All right.
Say your goodbyes.
Well, we can't yet. We have to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody because we're not coming back next week. We're not going to be here next Friday. We're on Thanksgiving vacation.
I thought we were going to put one in the can.
Oh, shit. We are. Never mind. We'll see you guys after Thanksgiving.
Right. Well,
Black Pretend Friday, like I didn't say that. Yes, we will see you on Black Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Get some eggnog. Get fucked up.
Yes. Drink with us.
Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should get some.
You want to?
Eggnog. Sure.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. We're going to do Stranger Things and drunk eggnog.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
I love it.
Sounds great.
I love it. Bye, friends.
Bye, friends. Push the button.